Hello and welcome to this channel, and if you are the first time here, subscribe to the channel by clicking the subscribe button to see the latest technology videos. In this video we are discussing about Java server pages, JSP. So API for the generated servlet. So the container generates a class from the JSP that implements the HTTP JSP page interface, and inside the JSP the methods can be overridden, like JSP init, JSP destroy and JSP service. So if you are using the Tomcat web server, the generated servlet extends org.apache.jasper.runtime HTTP JSP base. So initialization of a JSP page. So declare methods for performing the following tasks using JSP declaration mechanism. Read persistent configuration data, initialize resources, and perform any other one-time activities by overriding JSP init method of JSP page interface. And you can customize the initialization process to allow the JSP page to read persistent configuration data, initialize resources, and perform any other one-time activities by overriding the JSP init method of JSP page interface. So finalization of a JSP page. So declare methods for performing the following tasks using JSP declaration mechanism. Read persistent configuration data, release resources, and perform any other one-time cleanup activities by overriding JSP destroy method of JSP page interface. And you can release resources using JSP destroy method, and the methods are defined using JSP declarations. We have page import, page error page.jsp, then declare initialization and finalization method using JSP declaration, then private connection dbcon, public void JSP init, then retrieve database access object which was set once per web application, dbcon equal to driver manager dot get connection jdbc dot odbc prog, and public void JSP destroy and dbcon.close. So general rules of syntax. The JSP tags are case sensitive, and tags can be based on XML syntax, and attribute values are always quoted similar to XML. Either single or double quotes can be used, and JSP pages are typically named with the .jsp extension. And white space is preserved within body text of a JSP document when the document is translated into a servlet. So JSP syntactic element. So type of element, template content, and then element content. So everything in your JSP page source file that is not a JSP element includes all static content. Then directives, instructions you place in your JSP page to tell the JSP implementation how to go about building your page, such as to include another file, and scripting elements used to embed Java code into your JSP pages. Then actions provide high-level functionality in the form of custom XML style tags to a JSP page without exposing the scripting language. And standard actions include those to create, modify, and otherwise use Java beans within your JSP page. Then JSP element syntax, output comments, visible comment, hidden comment, then declaration, Java declaration, JSP declaration, Java language declaration, expression, Java expression, and JSP element syntax, scriptlet, Java statements, JSP scriptlet, directives, JSP directive type, actions, JSP action. Then template content. In most cases, a large percentage of JSP document consists of static text known as template, and everything that is not part of a JSP element is template content. There are three ways to place comments in a JSP page: write an HTML comment, write a JSP comment, and then embed a comment within a scripting element. So in almost all respects, the HTML in JSP looks just like normal HTML, and it follows the same syntax rules and is simply passed through to the client by the servlet created to handle the page. So template content, output comment, this is a way to write a standard HTML comment. Then hidden comment, the second way to write a comment is to use JSP notation. Then scripting language comments. The only type of nested comment allowed by the JSP specification is a scripting language comment. Then JSP elements, directives. So directives provide additional information to the JSP container and describe attributes for your page. The general syntax is @directive, JSP directive, .directive. The three directives in JSP 2.0 are page, controls the properties of the JSP page. Then includes the content of a file into the JSP page at translation time. Then taglib makes a custom tag library available within the including page. So the directives configure how the container, when creating the servlet, generate the Java code, and directives are typically used to set the global values within a particular JSP page. Therefore, they affect the entire page, and since the directives pass information to the JSP page, they doesn't produce any output to the current output stream of the JSP page. Then page directive give high level information to the servlet that results from the JSP page. Control which classes are imported. Page import java.util, which MIME type is generated. Page content type equal to MIME type. How multi-threading is handled. Page is thread save equal to true. Then page is thread save equal to false. Then what page handles unexpected errors. Page error, page.jsp. So other page attributes control page buffering, exception handling, and the scripting language, and so forth. So this was a brief discussion on Java server pages, and we will be discussing more on Java in the upcoming videos. And if you are the first time here, subscribe to the channel by clicking the subscribe button to see the latest technology videos. Thank you for watching this video. Bye for now.